longest active streak by any team. They have all come under Mike Tomlin, of course. His 7 straight playoff losses are now tied with Marvin Lewis for the longest losing streak in NFL playoff history. This has led some to believe it is time for Pittsburgh to move on from Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers, though, thinks differently.
This league has changed a lot in my 21 years. You know, when you hear a conversation about the Mike Tomlins of the world, Matt LaFleurs of the world, those are just two that kind of I've played for. And when I first got in the league, there wouldn't be conversation about whether those guys were on the hot seat, you know. But the way that the league is covered now, and the way that there's snap decisions, and the validity given to the, you know, the Twitter experts and all the, you know, experts on TV now who make it seem like they know what the hell they're talking about. To me, that's an absolute joke.
All right, well, we're going to try and make it sound like we know what we're talking about here. Rodgers saying that both LaFleur and Tomlin are great coaches and they should stay. Do you agree?
No, I don't. And I will say this about Aaron Rodgers. He's not, he makes some good points. People don't really. Aaron Rodgers is a smart brother. He's not stupid. I mean, I know that he rubs people the wrong way with some of the things he said, but this is not a dumb man. This is a highly intelligent dude, okay? And when he speaks, people do need to listen and hear where he's coming from and what he's saying. I'm a member of the media. He's always nice to me. I don't think he was talking about me. Let's get that out the way, right? He's always good to me, right? And I got nothing but love for him because I know he's going to the Hall of Fame. And before Patrick Mahomes came along, I thought he was the greatest passer of the football that I had ever seen. And that was taking Dan Marino and others into consideration. That's how great Aaron Rodgers was. But let me tell you where he's wrong and where he needs to be addressed. For the purposes of First Take, I want to bring this up because I think it's incredibly, incredibly important. Yeah, I might be the face of the show now with this wonderful woman, all right? But let me be very, very clear. I'm nothing without y'all. Football season, I ain't never played no damn football. You know what I'm saying? Who do I call when I need guests on my radio show? Who do I call? Who do I reach out to when I need some counsel? See, the problem is you got some sorry ass analysts out there that try to act like they know and did what y'all know and what y'all did. I don't do that. You're saying y'all did it, I did it. I did not. I covered it from a journalistic perspective, but that's it. When Aaron Rodgers says that, when you look at a show like this and others, there's a plethora of former NFL players. And so it's like, this ain't, you know, a bunch of reporters sitting at a round table talking about the game like they were in the locker room. You understand? Or out on the football field. No. These are your contemporaries. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm really, really big. And I'm really, really big on that because I like people to see. I want you to see your peeps, the people that wore the uniform just like you did, that went out on that field just like you did, that played at a high level, that competed for Super Bowl championships. They were right there. They know what they're talking about. I know I'm sitting next to two people that know that forgot more football than most people in America know. So when you say something like that, your bitterness comes across. And then we got to look at the stats. Who don't love Mike Tomlin? Right. But here's the reality. You've lost 11 of your last 14 postseason games and 7 straight. We respect the hell out of Matt LaFleur. You lost 5 of your last 6. Right. One quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. The other was Jordan Love. Who's had Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love? I'm talking about the Aaron Rodgers before he went to the New York Jets and before he landed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm talking about the Aaron Rodgers that was winning MVPs. You had him and then Jordan Love, and you lost 5 of your last 6 postseason games. What is somebody supposed to do? When you're talking about a team and an organization and how it may be time for change. He talked about when he came into the league. Well, guess what? Before you came into the league, Jimmy Johnson came on board and immediately fired Tom Landry. Right. Before you came into the league, Don Shula was fired. Right. What are you talking about? Chuck Noll was fired. It took him long because they waited a decade of him struggling before they got rid of him, but it happened. Right. So there's plenty of coaches that have come and have gone. Andy Reid. And we saw this before Aaron Rodgers arrived and since Aaron Rodgers arrived. Right. So respectfully to that bad man who I love, that's just not accurate. Yeah. It was going on. It did go on before you arrived. It went on once you arrived. It's going on now, and it always will because that's the business. Yeah. Period.
Well, Stephen A., the reality is when you love something, when you love someone, you're usually the last one to admit when that situation has run its course. you're usually the last one to admit when it's over. And that's what I took away from Aaron Rodgers' comments and trying to defend Mike Tomlin and trying to defend the Pittsburgh Steelers from this season. It's over. It's over for his NFL career, and it feels like it's over for Mike Tomlin from the standpoint of competing for championships with the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Now, for Aaron Rodgers, I appreciate you trying to defend Coach Tomlin because I think he gets a lot of heat and a lot of criticism, and some of it is unfair because he's a damn fine coach.
Yeah.
But the reality is that these conversations, the volume on it only gets ratcheted up because you weren't good enough this year. You were competing in Week 18 for the division with a team that started the season 1-5 and was missing their starting quarterback for a month.
Yeah.
You put the Pittsburgh Steelers in that spot, not anybody else. You think the Steelers would have benefited with that old defense, with those older players, with a 42-year-old quarterback? You think they would have benefited from having a bye week in Week 18 going into Wild Card Weekend? Because I do. But they didn't have that opportunity because without DK Metcalf, you couldn't beat the Cleveland Browns. That's on you, Aaron Rodgers. That's on you. And so, again, I can appreciate what he's saying and why he's saying it, but this is a situation of his own making. The conversations that we're having could have been different had he performed at a different level.
Yeah, I think from my perspective of Aaron Rodgers, I think you're coming off a game where you're hearing everybody boo. And that's tough, man. I mean, I've lived in the world like where you're being booed as an organization and you're coming off the field and it's frustrating. And he does have affinity for Mike Tomlin. Like, I don't think he would have. And you saw as the year went on, he and Hayward, the three of them would walk off the field every week and like always in arm and having these funny kind of conversations and this kind of relationship. But to your point, the one thing I would say I disagree with on the Aaron Rodgers is I think he held up his end of the bargain. I really do. Like, when you signed him, you said we're going to have a great defense. We need you just to manage games. Don't turn the ball over. Don't be the reason we lose, and we'll win a whole lot more than we. And unfortunately, the defense didn't perform. The run game was better, but still not dominant. And I mean, all you got to do is look at the other side of what you just played last night. DeMeco Ryans has won a playoff game, I think, in each of his first three seasons, which is unheard of. He's won his division twice in 3 years. Like, when you think about what that defense looked like last night and what the Steelers' defense looked like last night, that's a team that even when their quarterback played poorly, and he played poorly last night, C.J. Stroud dang near turned the ball over 5 times. They turned it over 3, and their defense bulled their neck and made plays. I think if Aaron Rodgers was on a team like that, they probably – I think the expectations for Aaron and what happened with Tomlin don't necessarily coincide. If I'm Tomlin, I would want to go do something different. Like, I would want to go to a different organization. Now, he may say, absolutely not, I'm going to stick it out. We're going to do this thing again. We're going to run it back. I just don't see – they've made too many misses at the quarterback position for me to give that full trust they're going to fix it right now. Like, since the Kenny Pickett, and maybe Will Howard's the answer. I don't know. I mean, maybe he is. But right now, I don't have a ton of strength or ton of conviction in it.
I think this is important to say because of the respect that Aaron Rodgers clearly has for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
You're not alone, bro.
Yeah.
We all have that respect.
Yes, agreed.
And admiration and adulation for Mike Tomlin. I would never sit here and say he should be fired, and stuff like that. What I'm saying is that Mike Tomlin, what would you do if your team, and you were running the team, was in a situation where you've lost 7 consecutive playoff games over 9 seasons, and you haven't won a playoff game since 2016?
Right.
It comes a point in time where you're simply saying, no disrespects or aspersions upon you, but it's time for a change for them and you. Nobody's saying you don't deserve to be a coach. We think Kevin Petula should be kicked out the door as offensive coordinator. You're lucky you get an opportunity, a second chance to be an offensive coordinator. If you him, because of the job we saw in his first year as an Eagles offensive coordinator, because you didn't accomplish anything. But Mike Tomlin has accomplished a lot over 19 years. We have profound respect for him. And we know if he was in a different situation with a better coach, he'd probably get better results. But rebuilding, you've tried that. You've tried that. The Steelers can't get over the hump. They haven't won a playoff game. A playoff game since 2016.
Yes, tied with Marvin Lewis for the longest consecutive playoff losing streak.